Welcome back to part 2 of episode 1 of Distant Nights. This is our Starships and Laserguns game based in 0.7.6 build 7, I think. We are going to pretty much just jump straight back in where we left off. If you didn't see the first part, go watch it. Be linked in, there'll be a playlist down in the description. So, where we left off, you had aboard the ACSS for Adventure, you had departed to the Ifrit sector with a small fleet, and unfortunately only you and the Distant Knights, the flagship of the fleet, have showed up. The rest of the fleet is missing. After scanning around, looking around, doing everything you can think of, you've picked up a scientist, Leodanikeriath, and if you say it quick enough you won't notice you mispronounced it, and you've also picked up about six of the same sensor beacons that will assist when it comes to passive scanning of areas, looking for signals, that kind of thing. You've noticed that a star about 3 light years from where you are has an interesting looking planet. It's maybe got a ring that's tightly locked to be facing the star, and it's probably in the habitable zone, about the right size to be an Earth-like, or maybe a bit bigger, maybe a bit less, not quite sure what the gravity will be like. You've also noticed that there is an interesting artificial sounding signal that is about 90 degrees from where you were headed, but you can't really make out a direction, so you were planning on dropping down a sensor beacon of some kind, potentially tying it as some kind of dongleberry behind the back of the ship.
Hell no.
Yes, we're doing that, Gav.
No.
We are doing that.
No, we're
That
not.
we
Oh.
don't marry.
And
Absolutely not.
yeah, you are going to see what's up, what you can do next. It took about half an hour to warp into the system before you drop out on the edge of the system. Or, your drop shield comes up and there's a brief sort of flash of light which the view screen sort of dims and dulls out for you, compensating automatically. And then you are left facing a star. It's actually quite a ways, but it's quite big now.
Well, as soon as we're back in goes blue, can we effectively send text messages to other ships?
You can try.
Well, I'll try and send a text message to the Distant Knights to confirm we're out of out of warp space.
Okay. That is going to require some rolling on my part.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because one of the other things that I just realised I forgot to mention is that there is currently a neutron storm in subspace, which will mess with communications.
Right.
Let's go with this die.
Is there any way to boost the signal to make it easier to get through?
You can try a directional sort of laser beam type deal if you want to, but you might have to do a bit of messing around to rig that up.
Do you want me to just quickly try that? Could I do that while we're in warp?
You could try.
I would imagine I would have tried quickly. May as well.
How about I just point the nose of the ship in the right direction?
Not quite how that works.
Damn it.
In your subspace communication module, there is it's a vacuum chamber. Inside that vacuum chamber, there is a portal at the bottom. There is effectively a retractable thing that goes through the portal, and it is an omnidirectional beacon. If you pulled that back, you could effectively build a dish that you'd have to open it up, put a dish on it, close it, empty all the air out of it, reopen the portal, stick it through, and then make sure it's pointing in the right direction.
Do I
I'd
have
say
the tools
sort
to do that? Firstly.
You would probably have the tools on board in the onboard workshop. It would take a bit of doing.
Yeah, fuck it. No.
No?
No.
Okay.
Not
Sort
for
that.
just this message. It's not that
No.
important.
Okay. You send away your message. What do you send?
Yep. ACS-4 Adventure arrived at target system.
Okay. You send it, but you're not sure if they heard it.
Yeah,
You don't get a reply.
fair enough. Yeah. I'll just call over comms. Alright, we're here. We'll be here for a bit. Ready up the sensor beacon, and I'll give the system a full
Yeah.
scan.
Okay.
Aye.
Go ahead and roll the logic perception, which is, to go through the, as you're scanning, to sort of see through the data.
Sure
Am I able to do
thing.
that as well, or?
Yeah, go for it. And
Is it an advantage again?
yeah,
I have 8.
because you are looking at the data.
22.
How did I roll a 0? Oh, I see.
6 plus 8. Leodanikeriath and Charlissandra, if you guys want to look through the data, you are welcome to try as well.
Oh yeah. What did we need to roll? Sorry.
Oof.
It will be logic plus perception.
Looks like a 19 is all I'm gonna get.
Yeah. I got a 2 and a 10.
Because you
Oh
put,
wait, I'm doing some. Oh,
it's
okay,
because
yeah.
you put plus
Don't
9.
try
Just put
to
9.
plus.
Yeah. Whoops.
So that's a bit of a shame because 7 plus 10, and normally I'd count that out, but if you want to figure out what those would be and just put them in chat.
26. 28. Or
Rip. Is that a 13 again?
28 is the
No, I
highest
lost
of the
damage.
two.
So that's a, what's that?
17
First-
plus 9, there's 26 plus 2 is 28.
28. Okay, so 28 plus 22 plus 19 and 13. Okay.
This
Charlissandra.
is my second roll and my second crit.
Oh my god. You realise you're supposed to crit on the other side of the die, right?
Hmm?
This isn't the best. What do you call it? It's not really your forte. You're looking through the data, but you can't really figure out all that much about it. It definitely appears to be some kind of planet that has water. It appears to actually have life on it, from what you can tell. Like it's got green on it.
Would we know what kind of life? Is it a...
Well,
From the looks of it, does it look like there's buildings or anything, or is it just, is there any intelligent life?
Charlissandra's pick it up that it's it might have like plant life on it. It appears to be sort of a habitable world.
Alright.
Johnny, you'll figure out that on top of that, again, it definitely does have that ring that is definitely tightly locked to the star. So it's this kind of weird end-on ring that's slowly rotating as it sort of faces the sun. And it does appear to have a moon that also orbits outside of that significantly. On the same plane, again, sort of 90 degrees to the ecliptic. And Lexie and Leo, you would both note that, you don't see any buildings or anything. You definitely see areas where there's more life and areas where there's less life. You see, you get a bit of a map of this planet going. And I will actually put it in the Discord for you. Where is it? Here we go. But you actually have a map, which is now on screen for everyone watching. It's just in the Discord there. And this map, as you can see it...
If we're landing, we get to land on the Chinese dragon with a tree on it.
I don't think we're landing unless we have a really good reason.
Again, you see...
Oh, I see which one you mean.
Yeah, I want to go visit the Chinese dragon.
You know how much fuel that costs, mate?
I know, but right. I know I've just immediately shit on the map that Tom's made, but you know, it doesn't look like that.
I'm not actually sure which one you mean.
Well done, one.
Bottom middle.
Oh, okay, yeah, I thought that's
Yeah.
what you meant. Yeah. You definitely can. You can try and land on the planet. There doesn't really appear to be all that much interesting about it. But at the same time, Earth-like planets are often nice to explore. They're not really what you're looking for, Leo, but Sometimes these things house beginnings of the kind of things that you're looking for.
Mhm.
Beginnings of life. But otherwise it just appears kind of plain.
Have we deployed the one of the beacon things
No.
to try and boost?
Not yet.
I would imagine that I set that up and deploy one, and then you run the scans with that.
That is
So-
a passive scanner.
Yeah, that's to catch communication signals effectively.
Oh,
It will
okay,
catch
so
Like the
any
signals
signals, but it won't. It doesn't emit anything.
am I able to get it to look at one patch of the sky in particular, and get it to scan that area first, or?
Well, it just picks up everything that comes near it. It doesn't really look at any one area specifically.
All right.
It's omnidirectional.
Right. So I'll deploy that and sort of give it like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, and then get the data off it and look specifically in the one patch of the sky where the signal was coming from last time.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a bit omnidirectional, but you look around and you can look through the data,
Yeah.
and you can pick.
I'll look through as well, trying to find
Okay.
the signal.
You can pick the signal up quite easily. It's pretty much exactly what it was the last time. It's just moved over a bit, and it is now in this direction.
Okay.
Oh,
Do you
so
think like
so it's moved. Like it's not just.
Well, you've moved.
No, not really. No, we've moved.
It's. Yeah.
Yeah. It
Ah,
still
alright,
adds
yeah.
up.
Can I sort of draw the lines effectively and try and work out where exactly it is roughly?
Yeah. Go ahead and.
I would like to help with this if at all possible.
Okay. I mean that's just pure logic, isn't it?
Logic or intelligence?
Nah, it's logic.
Logic, alright. Knowledge. No, not knowledge, roll a stat. 23.
23 it is.
Yep.
Um,
say.
I got double nines.
Good stuff.
Ooh. Ooh, nice.
I got 9 total.
Yeah, with a 23, you can. I will. Where is my? Here it is. You sort of get something a bit like this going. Then you sort of connect the lines a little bit more, and
Sorry, we
I'm
can't
up.
really see the lines.
yeah. So basically, here. These are the lines you've got. I'm aware they're not showing up for you, so I'm just doing it with the ruler, because for the
Alright.
war.
Okay.
Do you want to just message the Admiral saying that we found it?
I'll see if I can reach him.
Yeah,
Neutral storm might be getting in the way. I never got confirmation that he received our message.
yeah, just say we've got where we think it is, send it there, and do a scan and see if there's anything interesting here,
Oh, yeah,
anything
well-
else interesting. But
Well,
yeah,
I'd suggest we go there ourselves.
Yep.
As he said, we're gonna make it first.
oh yeah, so
I'll
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 just
hail the distant nights.
yeah.
Okay. Right. Are you doing a voice or are you doing text?
A voice.
Okay.
Trying first.
That is going to up the
Atheist for
difficulty
adventure,
quite a
hailing
bit.
distant nights. Is it? Okay.
But you make it through. You get a pretty staticky, very grainy connection, but you do manage to get a connection up. As you see the Admiral appear on screen. He sort of
Atheist
looks up
for adventure,
expectantly.
hailing distant nights.
Distant nights. We read you.
Good, Admiral. We may have found the signal source.
Good to hear. I thought you headed out in a different direction.
We did. We just dropped the beacon. See if we can find it. And doing some triangulation magic. We reckon it's about 7 light years away from our current position.
Good to know.
If you'd rather have your shuttles investigate, we'll hang back. If you want us to go there directly, give it a command and the ship's all good to go.
As you say that, the staticky picks up a bunch, and the connection drops.
Cock.
I walk in and just go, we're leaving. Let's go.
Oi.
Go on.
I'll,
Why not?
Because you want that beacon back.
Oh yeah, no, we're getting that beacon first. We are taking that beacon with us.
I'm trying to send a text through to the ACS, to the
The distant
distance
lights.
light.
We get paid more if we do this.
Okay.
We'll get paid. We'll get paid more if we scan the whole system.
Will we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright.
Every planet and every star and all that kind of stuff. Whatever you get, it all adds up.
Alright. Do you want to just stop the scanning while we wait for a response, or do you want to...
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right,
Okay, so you sent a text message, yeah? What do you say?
I'll ACS for venture hailing distant lights.
You don't get a reply.
I'll also start turning the ship around to go catch a beacon.
Okay.
yeah.
Just as you are beginning to pull into the beacon, you get a sort of very staticky, grainy picture show up of the Admiral. Basically, they've hailed you back. You get an incoming hail.
Yes, just for adventure, reading with difficulty.
Words. This is the Distant Knights. We appear to drop you for a moment now. Where are you headed?
Up to you. Either off to the signal or we'll hang back.
You're clear to look for the signal.
Alright, then we'll go and investigate after finishing up in this system.
Signal drops.
Cock.
I am rolling for
we're
this.
going for...
Are we... Yeah, I imagine we just get the beacon back.
You imagine that's gonna happen without pilot rolls? Are you mad?
How do you intend to retrieve the beacon?
Do we have a cargo scoop?
You probably don't, no.
Through the airlock.
Okay.
Same airlock we sent it out through. And a
Beep,
relative velocity of
Beep.
preferably 1 meter per second.
Tom,
Tops.
checking. Can I get into one of the emergency EVA suits to try and sort of help, or was that be a bad idea?
You could definitely do it. It wouldn't really be a bad idea. It just wouldn't help. You know, you wouldn't be able to. You wouldn't really be able to help. It is a spherical bubble around you, of hard light that keeps the air in, and some of the radiation out.
Like,
That's
all
literally
right.
all it is.
Yeah.
It stops you dying, and you float.
Other option is I could jump out there in a EVA with a cable, wrap it round and pull it in.
Again, you wouldn't be able to get around it
Could
You'd
not.
ba- you would bounce off it.
Suit.
because
Ah.
it is like a 3-meter diameter
Oh.
bubble.
Alright. Just wing it and hope for the best.
Yeah,
You
they
go.
are for keeping you alive. They are not for doing things in.
Mission to do that.
So this will definitely be a pilot roll. So let me bring up the character sheet I've got here. This will be Starships plus Dexterity.
Okay, I'm gonna take it nice and slow. If this takes hold... Oh man, mate, I need stats in dexterity, are you kidding me?
Dexterity,
that
fine
was-
controls.
Oh my god, mate, I didn't put any points in there at all.
Am I able to, without telling Gav, just try and sort of help him using my data slab? Just don't tell him and just do the slight adjustments again? Just because...
Mate, no.
You could try and take over his role.
No,
Because-
first things first, hold on. If intelligence is such a shite stat and I actually need dexterity, do you mind if I swap those two?
I mean, do that
'Cause-
at a break or at a...
Yeah.
Not
I've got
mid-session.
5 in Dex and 5 in Starships at the moment if you want.
Oh boy. Yeah, you take control, fuck this.
So I take control and do this.
Yeah.
Does it just roll a stat, Tom?
Start, yeah, and then just add the 2 modifiers. So Dexterity plus Starships.
23?
23 will do it. Yeah, you managed to very carefully, as Johnny thinks he's doing it, and you're just...
Oh no, I full on give him controls.
Oh, okay. So, you hand over your controls, a little bit begrudgingly, and Lexie manages to skillfully, pretty deftly, pilot the craft, just slowly bring you sideways, and then walks over to the airlock to pick up the pick it up as it comes in.
I'll give it a once over and make sure we haven't damaged it on it coming in, but
Yeah, no, you rolled high enough that it's absolutely fine.
absolutely fine. Alright, I shove it back to where it was before, strap down, etc.
Sure.
And secure the airlock for us to jump.
Sure. You
I'll
secure
secure
everything.
the rest of the ship.
The jump covers come over and you shrink, and yeah, you're ready to go.
Yeah. Announce the code yellow, and we'll jump for the signal.
So, that is 7 light years, so that'll take you 4.5 hours to get there.
Oh boy, that went up real logarithmic real fast.
Did you finish scanning the system? Like everything, or just jumping already?
Right.
I
You
would
did
say
a
that
system scan, you then can scan each planet individually,
Yeah.
which will be worth more money.
But how long would that take?
I think you can now see a bunch more stuff because I'm special. Let me... I don't think it takes that long. It's like half an hour a planet or something.
Yeah, per planet. How many planets are here, man?
That's a good point. Let me...
I
5.
think you said.
Yes, sort that. I'm not gonna scan every single planet here if we have a
Don't
signal to
s-
investigate.
Have we scanned the one that we've got the planet map on, or is it just we've got the planet map on?
Yeah, you've scanned that one, I assume.
We've scanned that one. Is there any
Sure.
other in the thing that's of great interest, or?
There we go. You get 100 credit bonus per planet.
Is there anything
Anything else in the system? No, your main system scan didn't pick up any anomalies. It appears to be
Alright, so
relatively...
there's nothing else.
Yeah.
No
Okay.
planets of interest, I'm meaning.
Not that you see. Everything appears to be, it's just a few gas giants and rocky planets. It's pretty basic.
You know what? I'll bookmark this one as to be scanned, as to be completed later,
Yeah, like
and
I
then
think-
we'll head on to the
heading on
to
might
the signal.
be better at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna, pretty much just move on.
Yeah, I'm gonna if we get any signal or
Okay.
any message, if we can get any message through to the distant lights, I'll just tell them heading to signal.
Okay, are you gonna just text
I'll
message?
I'll send another text through.
Okay, you don't get a reply.
Yeah.
So that is, quick time check. It was 1 o'clock when you arrived. You were about 2 hours with the distant nights. And then you set out, it's been 3 hours since then, so that's 1 o'clock, 2, 3. So it's about 6 PM. And then you're going to head out for another 4.5 hours.
Right. You know what? As we're in power nap, as we're in we just headed into warp. I'll call everyone in the communal area
Mm-hmm.
just after we got into warp.
Am I able to call up, transfer all the data that we got from the probe out? Because I imagine it'll have a little bit more that we haven't gotten.
No, you get all of the data from the probe. If you want to go through that, then you absolutely can.
Yeah, I'll go through the rest of it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, what do you call it? Logic plus perception for this. Go through data.
20?
20. There's not really anything that interesting out here. Let me see. Oh, no, actually. You pick up 2 more signals.
Okay.
Um,
What kind?
Actually, no, you'd pick up 3 more signals. Again, artificial looking, kind of similar in nature, but you can't really make out what they are.
From From what direction?
So you pick up one in this direction, pick up one in this direction, and one in this direction.
Sorry, I needed to relaunch my game because I'm swapping browser.
Ah.
Where?
Well, we can't see it anyway because we're Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, there's one back.
Am
3 back.
I able to
Back is that way.
heal the distant knights and video heal them and transfer the data across?
Yeah, you can. You may lose
From
connection
what
to the data.
Or just like the basic enough data to see there's signals coming here, here, and here.
With the video hail?
Yeah, with the video heal, so I know it's went through.
You can't get a connection.
Can't get a connection. All right, that's. We'll try and get it through later.
Yep. So, as we all get into warp, I'm gonna call everyone together for a little briefing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, guys, this is the situation now. We gotta assume that we're on our own and can't reach the distant knights. We don't know where their shuttles are. Might be on the way to the signal, might not be. Lexie, how many more signals did you catch?
I got another 3.
Right,
But
suppose
we can't triangulate where they are at the moment, so we may as well go to this one, find it,
Yeah.
and then rerun a scan, like shove a probe in straight away and go
Absolutely.
contact.
Now, this is an unknown signal, and there's a massive ship that's gone missing in this area. We don't know what we're in for, so as soon as we're out of warp, we're gonna be on a code orange here.
I'll go
I'd
get-
suggest you all try to take a nap before we get there, because it's gonna get late. Might as well get a power nap in. Lexie, if you don't mind, I'll leave the controls with you for now and get the power nap myself. I'll be back
Yep.
and ready on the flight like in about an hour.
You're doing
Yeah.
about 2 light years an hour. You could go slower than that if that would be better. If you want to
Fuck
get a
that.
full night in.
Nah. Well, we're gonna be getting there at like late o'clock, not past midnight yet. Just in case we're gonna stay up later than expected.
6. Remember, midnight is 25. So it will be.
So what will we be getting in that?
So it's about 6 when you're leaving, I think.
Yeah,
6.
so
Oh no, because there'll be another half hour. Then you left the thing for half an hour, so there's another hour, isn't it, that you spent in that other system? So 7.
yeah, we spent about an hour.
Oh yeah.
And so it would be 7 plus another 4. So you're looking at about 11 and a half, about half 11.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, you'll arrive about 2.5 hours from midnight.
Yep,
That's
No,
fine.
an hour and a half from midnight. Sure.
hour and a half from midnight.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll take controls while you sleep and all that. Like, I might set it up so I'm in the cockpit, but I might doze off. But I have alert systems to wake me up if needs be.
It's a very
Alright.
common procedure. There's a lot of looking at a screen doing nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't even see out during warp because you're moving faster than the light. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
literally
so-
there aren't even windows. It's real boring.
Like, I'll
Mhm.
get my reactive armor on, or there, and like half an hour out, put that on, and then 10 minutes out, wake everyone up.
Okay. So
Well,
you're
I'm
gonna.
be back at the controls after an hour, probably sooner.
So basically, you
If-
guys taking a short rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll just effectively take a short rest,
In turn.
Okay.
and I'll return in my armor just because don't know what's going to happen, and
Sure.
Yeah.
So
nice armor.
you make your way into the system. As you do so, you notice that there is definitely this some kind of artificial signal. You've been picking it up now. Actually, no, your ship wouldn't be able to differentiate that. Your ship sensors aren't good enough. So as you jump into the system again with the drop shield, and the moment the drop shield's gone, you can definitely pick up this signal. You can see it. You actually get the little message come up. Your ship's now picking up an SOS beacon.
Oh boy, display that shit.
It's just a beacon. It's just a passive beacon. It's just something
Okay.
pulsing out a signal.
Am I able to kick out one of our beacons again?
You can. Yeah, it'll take you a few minutes to just deploy that. That's easy enough.
I'll
Um,
just deploy that as we're going.
Lexie.
Yep.
Before you do that, let's just see if the area's clear first. See if our ship catches anything on the passive.
You'd be
Yep.
moving faster than light if you're moving around in system. So
I would deploy the beacon. It means that we've got longer time for it to scan, and I'll also try and hail the Admiral again to inform them this is SOS beacons and we've deployed more,
okay.
detected more.
So first things first. Are you going to do a passive system scan with your ship, or
Yeah, I
Passive
wanna
yeah.
give it a passive scan first.
okay? I will roll to see what you get. Go ahead and roll a to go through the results, I guess. So logic plus perception.
I'll
Logic
do that as
plus
well.
Perception.
Like 24.
24
Christ, man, you
and
keep rolling well.
Yeah. Don't worry. When I get
21.
into combat, it'll be all ones. All ones. Nothing else.
okay. So you're not really picking up much in the way of anything. Your ship's sensors are just about picking up this distress beacon, in fact, and registering it as that. They're not really picking up anything else. Okay, so you then ditch out the beacon, and
Okay.
those results will go for this as well. And let me just. Okay, that's much higher. So you.
Over the BA, I'll tell everyone we've got an SOS beacon here, maintaining code orange.
Your beacon manages to pinpoint its exact location on one of the nearby planets. It appears to be a habitable planet. That's kind of what you got. It's in the Goldilocks zone, but that's all you can really tell from that. It's pinpointing it. It's showing you roughly on a surface, but you don't have a map, so it's just kind of a blank sphere, and it's just here.
Yep.
And you'll have
why
to
don't-
scan it to get a map.
Yeah, scan it, then we'll land. An extra half hour at this point won't hurt.
Well, we'll scan first, and if that's an
Yeah.
SOS beacon planet site, we have to investigate. How old's that signal?
Yeah. Scan the planet first, so we've got a map and
Yeah.
all of that. I don't
Absolutely.
want to go into this blind. I try and
How-
hail
how
the
old's the,
Admiral again.
Okay, voice
Lexie.
or
Voice, because
voice?
Lexie, how old's the SOS beacon?
I'll find that out after I hail.
Unfortunately, you
They-
can't get a connection.
Okay, can I check how old the SOS beacon is?
It is literally effectively just repeating SOS. It's a standard that's existed for a long time. You can't get any reading on how old it is.
Okay.
It doesn't state a date or something or anything.
No, it's just Mayday, Mayday. This is the kind of like the
Well,
one that was right at the
ship,
start of this
okay.
episode.
Can I check
This is
if...
what ship is it, and is it on
Yeah.
the manifest?
Aha,
Yeah, is it on the
that
manifest?
it will actually say ACSS3 Victorian.
Is it on the list?
Yes.
I
ACSS
I
3?
send both the text saying we've detected 3 more and they're SOS beacons, they're from our fleet. And then
Okay.
I'll also try and voice call them to say that.
Text. No, that doesn't go through. And voice call. The exact same number. No, unfortunately, you can't get connection with either.
Jesus. We need to go back to them at some point, but we'll do this. Yeah, we'll approach and do the scans and we'll crawl down.
Okay, so
Absolutely.
you're scanning the
gonna
planet for a map.
Yep.
And as we're scanning, I want to hail the ACSS Victorion. Can you give that a shot?
Okay,
just
so that
gonna
this
go-
won't be affected by the neutron storm because it's sublight. So go ahead and
Yep. Just gonna go voice comms. Just all frequencies.
okay, map is on screen. Unfortunately,
Okay, so we've got.
you won't get any
Apostrophe.
kind of reply.
I'm just looking at this. It's apostrophe backwards L7.
Stop yourself.
Not sure what that is, and I'm not sure what the last one is either. Sorry. Sorry, Tom. I'm just looking at them and going, yeah, those are just.
Okay,
Look
where
at
exactly is the beacon
They may or
itself?
may not have come from a random map generator. but I then
I
put them
don't
through
know
a
how
bunch of things.
random the random map generator is.
It's pretty good, actually. So you see on the map that's on screen, you see
Yeah.
that on this big continent on the, like, right in the centre?
The 7?
Yes, the one that you've dubbed
Yes.
7.
7,
So
okay.
you see there's that
It's
island
being done
that
7 now.
right in the sort of the corner there. There's this island that is on the inside corner of the 7. That one. There's that island.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, the under corner, yeah.
Well, it is basically just to the north of that.
Okay.
I would say that we approach. Yeah,
Well, let's get into orbit first.
yeah.
Well,
just
you
sort of
have to go into
approach
orbit to do the planetary scan.
Okay.
So,
I would
Um,
say we should go into code. What was it? The code yellow and just sort of approach.
go for landing.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to try and hail the distant lights again.
I've
modifying-
tried it. What was that?
mod-
Like 4 times now.
modifying
and
the
not getting
dish.
through.
modifying the dish may take up to like 2 or 3 hours, depending on your role. It is quite a job to do.
We may as well just land and then go and visit the distant night in person. Sorry, by the way, if anyone's hearing my flatmates.
Yeah, I
Don't
heard that.
worry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Once you get like
Can we-
data from this specific planet, I'll try and see if I can glean anything about what we can expect on the planet.
Sure.
Ooh, that is definitely a logic plus intelligence.
I want to figure out if we can modify one of those beacons to emit a signal.
Actually, do you have before you do that, go ahead and roll a scientific. Your biology focus, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead and roll a scientific.
if that's the way it is.
5. Okay, so logic
Cool.
plus intelligence plus 5.
Uh,
Sure, it's gonna be good. That's not.
That would be
20.
20.
Yeah, 20. Okay,
What's
Um,
wrong with your macro? Why is
he's
Because
put
I
plus
put
11
plus,
instead of
yeah.
just 11. Okay, so
right?
yeah, that that's a thought. Anyway, 20. Yeah, so you can tell that the central continent and the one to the left of it definitely appear to be covered mostly in significant amounts of green. They do have mountains on them. They do appear to be, from what you can tell, lush jungle kind of areas. Especially the northern portions. The southern ones, not so much. The southern areas are a little drier. They're a little less sort of this lush area. The other continents are a little bit iffy. They're a little bit more patchwork, but again, the more northern areas do appear to be effectively warmer, and the southern areas are much. Sorry, the northern areas are more rainfall, much lusher, more plant life, and the southern areas appear to be more arid, with deserts and that kind of stuff.
Any abundance of like toxic gases or anything?
Not that you can see.
I'll inform everyone else.
So yeah, you will get the idea that this is going to be quite a where you're going to looks like almost like a jungle, forest, that kind of area.
That's gonna be fun to land.
Yeah. How far to the jungle would it be?
Can't really tell. It appears to be the whole area. You are looking at this from space, so it's a little bit difficult to tell. But
Alright.
on the map, the signal appears to be coming from kind of the coastline area.
Coastline, so could we land in the bit of sort of water there, or
On the coast.
If you want to see if you can float,
can we?
you can
I would
certainly
imagine-
try.
I'd rather try the beach.
Yeah, try the beach. Like, we may as well try the beach nearby rather than the trees, because the trees, we just need to meet. If we try the trees, we're starting a forest fire.
Yeah, probably.
Almost definitely,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Can we modify one of the beacons we have to effectively emit a signal? ACSS for Adventure was here. So basically, we were here and we went planet side to find the ACSS-3 Victorion.
You can, but unless you want to take your subspace communications unit out of your ship, it will only be able to be read by people in system,
Yep. In
unless you
system
give it a
only
few
is
hundred
just-
years.
In systems only is just fine.
Or just a few years, actually. Okay, go ahead. That would be an engineering... Yeah, go ahead and roll on engineering knowledge first.
Do you want me?
Engineering knowledge. Oh yeah, I'm getting him in on this shit.
I'll help.
Both roll then.
Considering I'm the engineer.
Yeah.
Engineering
Oh,
knowledge.
fuck, how did I roll a 10? Are you kidding me?
Okay, engineering knowledge. Yeah.
Oh
Fuck's
my
sake.
god.
Um,
I
So-
don't think I've not rolled a 10 for knowledge yet. Like,
No,
what
you've only
the
rolled
fuck?
10s. So,
If I see what they're doing, can I try and help?
yeah, go for
Sure.
it.
Sure. Like,
At this point, yeah. Because we're about to start
Oh my god,
throwing
guys.
tools at this thing because we're pissed off at it.
Okay,
Oh my
so
god.
what this is to determine is basically whether you'll be able to do this reversibly, and you needed 1 success.
no.
Sorry, guys. Unfortunately, you have -5 successes. You don't know how to do this without it being permanent. If you do this, you'll lose 1 beacon, and it will become an emitter beacon.
I'm
I'm
happy with that.
fine with that.
All right. It will then be. Let's see. This would be probably.
Technology and intelligence.
It would probably be technology plus, and I'd say plus starships if you have it.
Okay, so
Sure
10,
thing. 9 from me.
21. Yeah, because I've got 5 in technology and 5 in starship, so that'll be 20
Good stuff.
plus 10.
Ooh,
21
23.
and 23. Nice. Okay. Yeah, you quite niftily managed to do it. Doing it's actually not that difficult. You take a few things off it, you take some of the receivers out, and you sort of put them to one side. So go ahead and mark down that you've got some high-power passive receivers. And then, as you go,
Well,
you
I'm
put some
not gonna
things on.
mark that down because we're ditching them in orbit.
No, the receivers you take out of the thing.
Oh.
You have to
okay.
take some of the receivers out to put things in to, to hook it
you
up to the
want-
power core and all that kind of stuff.
What's it called? A high power
High-power passive receivers.
passive
one unit.
receivers.
And then...
Yeah. I put them in the ship inventory.
Good. And then you put in some, basically an emitter, and you wire that up to it, and the way you get it to work so that you can effectively log into it with a real basic kind of real basic program. You can log into it from a data slate and just set it to broadcast whatever you want. And you think it'll be readable by basically anyone in the system. It's
That's
light speed
perfect.
communications. It'll move at light speed. So
That's just fine.
okay.
we might pick it up. Do we want to pick it up when we leave, or what exactly?
Well, it's not. We might be able to pick it up, but let's just leave it to broadcast.
Leave it to broadcast for the moment. Yeah.
Yep.
What
Going to
is
go
it
planet side.
broadcasting?
ACSS4 Adventure.
Approaching
Um,
SOS beacon.
Well, ACSS4 Adventure went planet side on
Oh no.
current date to investigate SOS beacon from ACSS3 Victorion for people on board.
Okay.
What
you-
would the...
Want to stick
Oh,
that in
sorry.
Discord for me, so I can basically just copy it
Yep.
to my notes. But sure. So you set this up to broadcast. You kick it out, I assume, into orbit
Yep.
over the planet. Yeah, you set it up into a stable orbit over the planet. Geosynchronous, I assume, just over the spot you're going to. Or...
Stationary, so
Yeah.
it's easier to find and know that.
And you set up basic orbit. It's real easy stuff at this level. This kind of technology level, you can do that relatively easy. And I assume you're going to head on down.
Yeah. what kind of piloting is it to go down?
Dexterity plus starships.
Do you want me to do that again? Considering.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have to. Shit.
Are
Mate.
we able to do it co-piloting sort of thing? So
You can definitely both roll. That's
Yeah.
I'd
doable.
like to
2 people,
seriously
because you've got 2 seats.
revise my entire character sheet, because dexterity didn't used to be a part of the pilot thing before. If that's gonna
I
be
think it did
something
actually,
rolls
but
for everything. No, it
it's
wasn't.
fine. This is still the first. Character sheets may change.
Yeah.
That's like fine because we've no basis to base it on. That's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Is that a 23?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to roll, Gav, or
Nah, fuck it. Leave him with the controls.
okay?
I'm not gonna mess up a perfect 23.
Yeah, I'll be getting all my things ready and try to get a place where I can.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have like visual on, like while we're going, or there is.
Yeah.
So I assume there's like a point where we don't have vision for a little while.
Not really.
It's gonna
That's only in FTL. Outside of FTL, you can bring up all of the vid screens that are just kind of line the walls of the ship. You can effectively set them to what is their kind of basic mode, which is actually just completely transparent. They've got cameras on their far side, and you can just see straight through it.
Okay.
So like that whole wall, you can just see through it. You just look down. It just
Yeah.
becomes a giant window.
Yeah, I'll just be like looking for anything else in like a decent place to land or something.
Okay.
I
Gav, I gave you the
Yeah?
option of 1 land speeder or 2 hoverbikes. Which one did you pick?
land speeder.
Okay, that only seats 2 people though, so
it does.
Yeah.
yeah, I did say this. When I gave him the option, it was a land speeder that seats 2, or 2 hoverbikes that effectively seat 1, and you can have someone on the back. So land speeder, it is.
Yep.
In that case, so as you bring the ship down, slowly bringing her down over the area, there's sort of
I'm
engines,
listening to a bit of Black Keys Gold on the Ceiling. You know.
as one
Hell
does.
yeah, that's over the PA system.
Yep.
There's just music, just terrible old school music, as it would be, just blasting
Oi,
over the speakers.
It's not terrible.
As
I agree.
the engines on the back of the ship have to rotate almost like straight down, and then even a little bit further, as you like coming down into a landing, and then they shut off, returning to their normal position. All of just the thrusters lining the belly take over, flowing into life as you slowly bring the ship down over the area. Somebody, go ahead and Leo and Lexie, go ahead and roll me perceptions. Vision.
It's 2 of those.
21 or
Perception is 3.
20.
13. I see nothing.
13 or 21. Okay. Leo, as you're looking for a good area to land, you spot like this rocky outcropping that's kind of like a bit of a plateau that's a bit bigger than the ship and looks relatively flat, like it's been worn over by some kind of weathering. Where there's a few bits of plant life, but it looks pretty good. You point this out to Lexie, and you basically can bring it down and land it quite neatly on that.
I bring it down gently to test the surface because I'm even still just to
Yeah.
make sure it's definitely a solid ceiling floor.
Yeah. As you sort of not quite shutting the thrusters off or doing it sort of very slowly,
Yeah.
as you rest the ship down, it appears to be a solid surface, and you slowly bring her into land, shut the thrusters off. It's a rock floor. It's very solid.
It's definitely So it's definitely solid. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll announce the code blue and run an atmospheric scan.
Okay. Atmospheric scan. Let me roll for what you get. Oh my god, this dice. Unfortunately, you don't get anything from the atmospheric scan. It appears to be that you pick up basically a breathable atmosphere. Nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide in pretty ideal qualities. Not perfect, but it's pretty close to what you'd look for.
Do we have any like respirators, sort of breathing mask things?
Don't think we do.
You might have like one.
I'll take that with me and be the first one to go out.
Okay.
To, because I don't. One of those things of like, I'm sure the sensors are fine, but
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you put the mask on, or sort
Yeah.
of hold it in front of your face as you cycle the airlock, and as you do, you take a
Yeah.
deep breath and.
I'm ready to pull him back in if need be.
Yeah.
And you stand there for a moment, just breathe.
Yeah.
It appears to be fine.
It's fine. All right.
Put the mask away.
I'll put the actual stairs down and all that so everyone can get off. But I continue having the respiratory system on me.
Yeah, so you just sort of clip it onto your belt. Can be.
Yeah, just in case something goes wrong somewhere
gonna-
and we need it.
I'll make sure that I have my shield on me, and I'll try to find the nearest like high spot I can find. Start
Yeah.
climbing.
Oh, I'm in
I'm
my
gonna
full armor at the moment with my scythe
I'm gonna-
ready.
I'm gonna check the distance to the SOS beacon.
It's about maybe 1 kilometer away. It
like
appears to be inland. Yeah, you got it pretty close because those were some
Yeah.
good rolls. It's about 1 kilometer away inland. You can see where there's this kind of the ocean outwards, and there's this huge island from which you can see the sort of kind of like the Strait of Dover, I guess. What the fuck's it called? The English Channel. You can kind of see a bit of a channel like that, and then on the other side you can see this island. And you can, as you look around, it's this jungle with these huge trees, all strange and like alien looking, but you see these massive sort of trees out in front of you, and it's pretty interesting, especially to you, Leo, because you don't recognize any of these at all. There's a few elements that seem familiar, and some you've seen co-evolve in multiple places, but most of them look pretty alien to you, and the rest of you obviously don't recognize any of them at all.
Yeah, I'll immediately start climbing the closest high points to us.
Okay. There's
Am I-
a few outcroppings of rock. You can definitely climb up one of those quite easily. It wouldn't take a roll. And there's
Yeah,
this
and
huge
then
rock at the
I'll
top.
start looking around to see if there's anything out
Yeah,
the
can
open.
I have a wee look to see if I can see if there's any animal life or anything?
Animal life, you don't see anything.
Like,
you
is there
don't-
any traces? Like, is there footprints or is there like droppings or
uh,
something? Like, would that be perception or?
That would be, perception.
13.
Tracking is 5. 13. You don't really see anything that you recognise out here. I mean, it's mostly rock out here, so there's not really anything in the way of footprints. You don't see anything that would be obvious drop-ins, but they're aliens.
So I
It's a
don't
bit
see
hard to tell.
I don't see anything like algae on the rocks or anything either. I just sort of.
There's a little bit of algae on the rock. Well, not algae, it would be more like moss and lichen, I suppose, but
Alright, so.
Yeah.
Right, there's
I'll-
sort of like that, but there's not.
you
I can
don't
see, like,
really
funny
see anything
rabbits.
that's plant life, yeah.
Yeah, when I'm like up there, I'll look around
Oops,
to see if
animal.
there's anything fairly close to us, and then I'll use my scope to check out like something far away. Maybe if I can spot the crash site.
Okay, you won't be able to see the crash site. There's way too much in the way of trees. This is a really thick
Well,
jungle
like
by the
smoke
look
or
of it.
something or whatever.
Okay, go ahead and roll a perception. That is an anti-crit. 16. Yeah, you don't really see anything in particular. It's really thick jungle, and it does reach quite high up. You don't see any smoke or anything of that nature. You didn't on the way down either. But it does appear that this jungle is pretty dense, and you're going to have to make your way through it. Scythe over there might be useful.
I draw my scythe and just sort of.
As you're looking through some of the plants, though, you do see something flutter and fly off. Something, it's a sort of bright reddish colour. You see it, and it's just you just take a moment to watch, and you see a few more, and it appears that there is some kind of animal life in here, flying animal life, like a bird of some kind.
Do we have like communications or whatever on us? Like just walkie-talkies or whatever you wanna call them?
I've got a
I've got-
data slate
I've
and
got
a
a data
reminder.
slate.
Oh, the data slate is just okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
basically-
communicate.
Yeah, I'll let them know and then I'll start gliding down.
Okay.
I don't actually have a data slate running.
I would imagine I would have made them on hearing this a small like earpiece or something.
You can have a basic like earpiece or like effectively a data slate. Think of like a phone, I'd say it's more like it's about the size of a phone, but it's really powerful. Like, it's kind of like having a laptop as opposed to a phone. Like, you can have something that looks like a data slate, and it'll do some of the very basic functionality, such as you can communicate with other people. You might be able to take a low-quality picture with it, but it's not it's not going to be able to display holograms, transfer money, that kind of stuff. So you'd have some way of communicating with them, easy enough like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll slowly move forward though, and sort of start seeing, like, at the edge if there's an easy path, or if it's just going to be
That's a survival
hard
check.
slog through. Oh god.
Yeah, I was going to do the same.
What's my survival?
Just keep an eye out for.
Survival is underbody
-2.
bottom.
Oh no.
9.
Nope. You don't really see anything.
Okay
What
then.
about
Nothing stands
what
out to you.
about the explorer that is planning on?
Yeah. What do you see, Leo?
Survival as well, then, right?
Yeah.
That's better.
15. Yeah, you think you've got you see the beginnings of some kind of animal tracks. You've seen this a lot. It's where animals go through and sort of wear down a place. They don't leave like footprints or anything. It's just, you know, the vegetation's a bit less and some kind of track, that a bit of a trail that maybe might go through here.
What
It's
size would it be?
can't really tell based on it. It doesn't appear to be too big.
It's not like, alright, so it's sort of like cat sized rather than
The trees did not part for it.
Yeah, it's not moving trees, but it's like it could be like. You'd reckon anything the size of maybe a big dog or smaller.
big dog or smaller.
That
alright.
kind of size, yeah. It's no taller than about 1.5 meters.
Alright.
I'm
Really
just
big dogs.
mostly gonna be keeping an eye out on possible dangers,
Sure.
Yeah.
weird plant life or like animals.
So, as you guys set off into the forest, into the unknown, I think that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Yep.
And we will come back to this next week.
The
Yeah.
real bummer for me is that we're not the first ones on this planet.
So, thanks for watching, everyone. As I said a little bit ago, there will be some tweaks with character sheets, so if anyone ever tries to come stand up to date with that, yeah, good luck. Because this is a very early alpha build, and there's not really any point of reference for a lot of this, so, this is the point of reference, so a lot of things will change around. And a lot of these games are definitely to help me design the game, get everything down, and make sure everything works. If you're interested in the game, you can check it out. There'll be a link in the description down below to our website, starsandlasers.com, where you can see all the books. You'll be able to see, I think it's an older build, potentially on there, or it might actually be, like build 6 or 5, but I think it's 0.7.6 now. There's also a bit of an Easter egg hunt for anyone who wants to try and find the lore, because that's scattered throughout the internet and hard drives and everywhere. Best of luck to you, you'll need it. Yeah, also check out Aftermath, Vices and Virtues, Sands of Fate, which are also they'll be on this channel as well. So, thanks for watching, and I think we'll catch you in the next episode.
See you next time.
Seeing as FOM isn't here,
Yeah.
catch you for Sachi.